Merry Christmas. This is Intrepid reporting to you quickly because I'm getting ready for a fancy dress party that my superior, Miss Terry, set up for me. And she did say that there's a celebrity there, you know, bit of a toy boy, Harry Stye from that boy band, Wrong Direction. Now, he were in England, I think, recently, you know, and I said, you know, I was sort of, she were a bit crackly on her phone. I said, oh, you know, Harry Style, I think we're going to a club called You'll Be Lucky. That's what she said, You'll Be Lucky. So, as I'm getting ready here, because I'm going, now, you know, I once was a plain woman. Now, you might not think this, but I was once very plain, you know, and tonight I'm going as this lady, if you can see her. Yes, the great icon herself, the great sex symbol herself, Miss Monroe. So we'll get on with that. But I am going to talk to you very, very briefly about the serious issue of bullying. Bullying. Now, these are people that are everywhere. They can turn up everywhere. It can be your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, your sister, your brother, your employer. There's a bit of bullying all of us, I think. You've got to admit, there's a bit of bullying all of us. But it's how you deal with it. It's how you control it, you know. But I found that the nasty ones, you know, they're juvenile idiots, manipulating, malignant, intimidating egotists, or jimmies as I call them. So, excuse me, I think I've just missed a bit there. So I'll just get that bit there. Right, yeah, jimmies, yeah. Now, in my day, there were none of this modern day bullying like you have now. You know, you have it on the media. You know, on the media, you know, people actually sharing images on their phone, which is absolutely terrible. You know, I mean, when I was a kid, you got bullied if you had red hair, if you had a funny name, you know, and I did, because I was foreign. I was known as the Eskimo kid, you know. If you were tall, if you were short, you know, if you had a skin complaint, you know, I mean, in fact, there was one lad who went through hell at our school, and he had acne, and they called him Spot, which was ludicrous, really, because he were covered in them. You know, he didn't just have one. But me, myself, as a child, I had what they called bat ears. You know, so I know what it's like to be bullied. You know, I mean, you know, on a windy day, you didn't see me for dust. Really, you didn't see me for dust, you know, but I dealt with it, you know. And aside from that, the worst we ever got up to as kids was knock and run, or, you know, just pushing people. You know, there were none of this terrible bullying that's going on these days. You know, people constantly taking pictures of themselves, just Jimmy Beauty Spot here. She's got one about there, hasn't she? That's it. Yeah. Ooh, I'm going to be bell at ball tonight, you know. But, yeah, you know, the 125 pictures a day, they reckon, these youngsters and adults are taking, you know. But I ask you this, where are they taking them? Eh? Lockers, loos, in a car. You know, and, you know, it's just the beginning of them becoming a bully, isn't it? A self-obsessed bully, right, you know. And I mean, I don't want to be too hard on these people, because I don't really think that when they do look at themselves in the mirror, you know, well, maybe they do. Maybe they look at themselves and they see a winged god, you know, a winged god with golden skin and a plonker the size of a Ford hatchback. You know, I mean, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here. You know, these are people that have had great wrongs done to them as children. I mean, this is a fact. And I mean, it must be a terrible thing as a child, you know, to be beaten, you know, to be beaten at Lego or noughts and crosses. I mean, they just can't take it, you know. I mean, starved, children starved of affection, you know, when their sibling is being attended to after a massive injury. You know, I mean, it's going to do something to their heads, isn't it? It's just going to do something to their heads, you know. I'll just top up here, you know. You know, and aside from that, and the worst thing, really, is being abandoned, isn't it? Being abandoned. being abandoned by your own parents, you know, that must really scar them. You know, running off, you know, leaving the child there, you know, escaping the blows of the plastic hammers. You know, well, I mean, you've got to run really, haven't you? You know, you've got... But you see, in my opinion, I think a sure way to sort of counteract this bullying, tyrannical nature, you know, this greed for power, this kind of hunger to stamp on them below them, you know, as well they would see them as below them. Just drop them into an environment, you know, an environment that is worse than theirs. You know, drop them into a war zone, you know, just drop them into a starving country, you know, drop them into a Justin Bieber concert. You know, just let them see how the other people live. You know, just drop them there and leave them. Just leave them. You know, just leave them. You know, and I mean, it's... Oh, better crack on. You know, and I mean, the bullying, you know, women as well. They're getting as bad as men, if you ask me. Women are getting as bad as men. And with women, it's a kind of competitive thing, isn't it? You know, like who's got more on top, you know, and I can knock you out with mine, you know. But I've come prepared this time. This Christmas party, they're not going to outdo me. Oh no, because I've got me puppies. See, I've got me puppies. So just excuse me and I'll just pop these down and I'll carry on. You know, but these people, you know, these... Just don't let a Jimmy, you know, tread on your foot. Just don't let them, you know, tread on your foot. Don't, you know, talk to the monkey. Don't talk to the monkey. Just chuck them some nuts. You know, see how they're flipping like it. See, the one thing about this lady, she had class, didn't she? Now, that's what I'm aiming for here, class. She had a beautiful cleavage, which I think I've got now, you see. I think I'm nearly there. I've not had a message here yet for my taxi. My taxi's not come yet, no. But you see, take them to a place, as I say, less fortunate than theirs and leave them, basically. Because, you know, let's face it, they're losers. I mean, there's gang culture now, isn't there? It's a gang culture. Now, you know, as far as I can remember at school, you know, there was a kind of sort of cliquey sort of culture, you know, but they did nothing to actually harm you. You know, the most I've ever seen them do was sort of, you know, kind of victimise a little lad we once had there who was called the Rocking Jeffrey. You know, rocking. Now you might think, is that because he was sort of musical, he was a good dancer, you know, and they were jealous of him. No, he just rocked. He just rocked like this, you know, and they victimised him for that. You know, poor Jeffrey, they victimised him for that. And I mean, that's the worst as it got. That's the worst as it got, you know, but gang culture is everywhere now, isn't it? You know, celebrities have suffered from this, you know, I mean, Heaven knows what would have happened to Tom Cruise had he not had his teeth done, you know. But I just want you to just bear this in mind, you know, that if you are faced with a bully, you know, don't let them stand on your foot, you know, don't let them stand on your foot and don't talk to the monkey because, you know, that's what they want. They're after it, you see, they're after, you know, they're trying to pull your strings, aren't they? Well, don't give in to it, you know, just stand firm, eyes focused and stand your ground, you know. So... And there's lots of websites that you can go on. So if you are out there and you are being bullied, for goodness sake, tell someone. I've missed a bit here, hang about. Tell someone. You know, there's a wonderful website called Beat Bullying where you'll get all the advice you need of how to deal with these Jimmies. You know, just don't give in to them. You know, don't give in to them. Don't hide behind your shadow, you know. But have a good Christmas. If you can, you know, and, you know, it's not going to last forever. Don't succumb to it. Don't succumb to it, you know, like poor little Jeffrey did. I mean, he'd be in tears by them railings, you know. And what they call them now, trolls. I mean, you know, in my day, trolls were little toys with, you know, fluffy hair. I mean, what, you know, children being terrorised, you know, on the media. Well, I mean, it's just beggars belief, isn't it? Beggars belief. But anyway, enjoy your Christmases if you can. Now, don't drink too much because, you know, that's what they're waiting for. You're at your lowest point there, aren't you? Eh? You know, because as I say, these are juvenile idiots manipulating, malignant, intimidating egotists, aren't they? Eh? So you keep your lookout on for the and stand your ground. Stand your ground. So I think I'm about, and I think you'll admit, some gentlemen will be very proud to have me or Marilyn on his arm tonight. So let's have a bit of Bing before we go. Get into the Christmas spirit. And this film from the Intrepid reporter is dedicated to Gina. So let's play ourselves out with a bit of Bing. And hopefully the bastard will play this time because I've been having trouble with this old player. So here we go. Merry Christmas. Intrepid reporter wishing you a good new year and many laughs and love.